Bonjour, bonsoir tout le monde. Mon nom c'est Evangeline. Et jeudi, nous retournons dans l'épisode Things We Don't Talk About. Ça, c'est un talk show que nous parlons de toute bagaille, que nous pas jamais parler, et aussi des sujets qui vraiment tabou, et aussi des sujets qui pas vraiment discutés dans l'entourage, nous, dans l'église, nous, et dans la société. Nous. Donc, jeudi, moi, j'ai un petit frère avec qui c'est Yenel. Talk show ça c'est pour vraiment faire partager idées ou comment différents mondes, différents âges, différents sexes penser. Donc c'est pour ça que nous choisissons aujourd'hui pour venir dans le talk show. N'a pas quitter le présenter tête li pour le dire nous qui est on quelques background sur la ville.
Thank you everybody for anybody that don't know me. Like she said, I'm her younger brother. I'm 21 years old, about to be 22 very soon. I'm an entrepreneur. I do real estate investing. I do credit repair. Anybody that needs to get their credit fixed, I'm able to help them with that. With that being said, I'm from Haiti. Moved here when I was 12, 13 years old. I've been through a lot of things. I know I'm only 21, but I've been through a lot of things, and I was able to overcome some of these things and be able to better myself as a man and just in general. So thank you for having me on your show, and we'll be able to talk and see where my mindset is at on some of these topics that I should be asking me about.
Yeah, and if you need more information about fixing your credit and also put it in a better place where you can be able to purchase stuff and also put stuff on your credit, you can hit him up. His information will be down below. So we're gonna go straight forward. I know you're my younger brother, and basically growing up, it wasn't, how can I say that? I know how it was for me, but I want to know for you growing up as a preacher's kid and being a man as well. And I mean, what was it like for you growing up in a preacher's household?
I mean, growing up, it definitely was. It definitely had a lot of pressure. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of pressure to where you feel like there is no mistakes. There's things that people talk about, especially when you go to school, where you want to know what that's like, but you have the pressure of just like, if you go down that route, people know your father, people know like what he's about, and you're a preacher's kid, you're not supposed to do that. So a lot of things is just like you can't know you can't know what it's about. You can't go find out yourself because you know how you was raised and some of these things. It's just a constant battle every time.
So basically, it was more like what you can do this because of your father and not because God don't want you to doing it.
It was both of these things. It was these things where it's like, okay, well, my dad's a pastor and he preached about this every Sunday when you can't do this and this is what the Bible said. But also his stature at the same time is just like, well, you know, if you do this, it's gonna get back to that. It'll tarnish his reputation and everything that he has going. So it's just like, I can't find out, and you can't run away from it. Especially being raised in Haiti, you can't run away from it. So it's just like, you in a sense, you just gotta trust where your dad is taking you and how we've been put in this position. You just gotta trust it and be able to move on from that.
Yeah. So basically, pressure was something that you were dealing with growing up, and well, does it mean like you would have to always prove yourself every single time that you were doing something? Like you have something to prove just because you a pastor's son?
I did have something to prove, and what I had to prove was constantly being right, constantly being looked at as like the perfect image.
Yeah,
you know?
Constantly like not making any mistake and stuff.
Exactly. You can't make the mistake because of how people would look at you, and it's just a lot of these things. I don't even want to go into depth, but a lot of these things you just cannot do.
Yeah.
And I know as a kid growing up, a lot of people like they try things out, especially when you raised like in a regular household, you're able to make these mistakes freely and not be able to just be judged for them. You're able to make these mistakes and not even be judged. Like with me, it's not the same thing. If I make a mistake, I'll be judged, and my father will be judged, my whole family will be judged.
Yeah, and I mean, do you think it's because that the church holds you to a certain standards do you think like because you this kid pastor, they are expecting this from you? But if you're somebody else's kid or just a regular member, do you think they're expecting that from everybody, or is it just because you're a preacher's kid?
I think with us it was a little bit different because everybody know that. It's just like wherever he go, everybody know that he always presenting us. It was different, you know. But it's not just like I was saying before. It's not like everybody else. These other people that go to church and they have this regular family, if they make a mistake, it won't be looked at as if I make a mistake.
Okay, it will be judged very differently.
Very, very much so different. Very much so different.
Yeah, because it's like because you're supposed to be a model and your dad is speaking about those things, so you should really be those things that he's speaking about. And they don't really think that you're just a regular kid like everybody else who happen to have a dad like our dad or be raised in a Christian family. But they still don't know that because you're a kid and because you're growing up, there's some stuff that you're gonna do that you should have not be doing, but they don't need to crucify you for it. You know, and I believe that they don't think like that because they never made mistake themselves. But even though they made the mistake themselves, they're expecting you not to do it because you're somebody's kid that's preaching to them.
Yeah, you're perfect.
Basically, yeah. That leads me to talk about appearances. Like, I know when we were growing up as preacher's kids, we have to look a certain way. We can't wear that type of dresses. We can't wear that type of clothes. And our hair can't be done like this. We can't have that image. And I know it's no secret. We see clearly that you have dreads.
Yeah.
And I know it's just a headache for our mom, for our dad, and they don't even understand it because our culture, they really had to keep you in that little bubble. Like, this is how you should be being a Christian, and this is how you should be being a preacher's kid. So they don't come down you having hair, men having hair, because for them it's not really Christian-like. So what do you think about that double standard? Like, because you are a Christian or because you are a preacher's kid, you shouldn't be wearing your hair like that. You shouldn't be wearing your hair that long. Like, I know a lot of people have approached you about it as well. Like, how do you feel about that?
I mean, that's a good question. I get asked that question all the time. To me, I had to find my purpose. So with that being said, was when my hair was growing, I remember even like the beginning process, it was just kind of like, oh no, it's just an afro and it's just one of these things. I know how crazy it might sound, but you never know what God is gonna do. You never do, because I never expected my hair to be like this. Not one bit. Anybody that asks me, are you gonna get dreads? Nah, I can't do dreads. But as I've been living and my hair been growing and all these things been going on, it's just like, I remember going to the Haitian church and like we was just talking about, people crucified me for having my hair. And it's just, it was just like, and this how I feel like I found my purpose in that sense with just my appearances. It's just like, I feel like a lot of people are being judged just based on their appearances. Even though God don't even allow people to do that, you should not judge at all. And now I feel like I had to be that guy where it's just like, okay, you could look at me that way, you could feel how you feel about me, but I cannot give you any reason to.
Yeah.
You're going based off look, which is okay, which is fine. You're sinning by judging me first off by looking at my looks. But now it's just like when we have a conversation, I have to make you think different. I can't give you the opportunity to be like, well, I was right. Not have to be like, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't judge.
Okay. So basically, you want people to see you as a Christian and know who you are by your action and the way you speak and the way you condemn yourself, but not just looking at you and seeing, oh, he has hair and he's just like a delinquent, Because even in the society, not even at church, when they see somebody with hair, they're like, oh, probably is in some gang or something, probably is been to jail or whatever. Like, they put some type of profile on you just by you having dreads and you having hair, because for society, having hair or having dreads is not, we can't take you serious. we're not gonna take you serious. You don't appear as a serious person just because you have that. So you want to change that narrative because you want people to see you as who you are, basically.
Exactly. It's just like I've been saying, a lot of people gonna look at me, and that's okay. I want to give people the opportunity to just be like, well, even though he looks that way, this is very different from what I'm thinking. Mm-hmm. My hair doesn't define me. Yeah. It really doesn't. Who I am define me. When we talk and we have a educated conversation, you would think different. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna come and cuss at you and be like, oh, I'm a thug. And it's not that at all. Okay. And that's how I want people to look at it. And I remember I was talking to this girl and she's like, man, how you gonna be doing these meetings? You say you're an entrepreneur, how you doing these meetings and you pulling up with your hair and things like that? It's just like, that has nothing to do with it. Mm-hmm. If I know what I'm talking about, nobody gonna look at my hair. At first you might. Yeah. But the moment I start talking, mm-hmm. it will change your mind. And that's my whole purpose with my hair, is just establishing that when you see somebody, do not quickly judge them. Yeah. Just have a conversation, just see where they're at, just listen to what they have to say before you even like make any type of assumption of who that person is. Yeah. And so does that, like, I know when you say when you go to Haitian church, I know really American church, they don't really go by that. Right. But when you said like when you go to Haitian church, like you get crucified because you go and go to church with it and they look at you. If you even go communion with us, so some people might feel offended because you go in front of the church and do communion with us with this here. Like, does that make you feel some type of way where you don't want to go back or you don't want to come to the church anymore because you feel uncomfortable? Nah, I mean, at first it did, and that's why I stopped going on a daily basis. I stopped going to the Haitian church. I still go to church, people. I go to church every Sunday. But what I'm saying is I stopped going to the Haitian church on a daily basis mm-hmm. because I just didn't want to be judged like that, because I know that's not who I am. But now, with that being said, when I go to them churches for the communion on the first Sunday of the month, I don't look at it no type of way because mm-hmm. I know my purpose now. I know exactly why I have my hair. And it has nothing to do with me. Even though I think it looks good and I like it, but it has nothing to do with me personally, because before I was still living without the hair. Mm-hmm. But now that I have it, even though these people might see me and look at me a certain way, it's just like now, if we have a conversation, I will change your mind. Mm-hmm. I will make you see like, this guy really loved God and all these things, and he's really trying to do the right things every day. Yeah, and that's why I wanted to talk about that, because I know a lot of people, a lot of my friends, because of the way they look and when they come in church and the way they look at them and the way they talk to them, the way they talk about them, make them not feel wanted because they don't feel safe to come and worship. They don't feel like it's a safe place. And church should be a safe place. Church should be somewhere that people come and feel comfortable and not feel judged and not feel uncomfortable. It should be a safe place, and we should allow everybody to come in, because the change we cannot do. If God wants somebody to change, I promise you, He will do it. So we just need to be more acceptable as Christian, and as a church, we have to be more acceptable and allow people in and let God do His works. Let's jump right in. I know a lot of ladies might be wanting to know if you're single, if you're taken, if you're married. What is it? What is the status of that? I mean, I'm definitely single. I'm not going to study to say that I really am single, but what I had to say on that is just I'm just taking my time at this point. I'm trying to focus on my business and things that I have going on, and not really focus on that, because I feel like if I do have a woman, I gotta be able to do these things that I want to do. I don't want nobody that expecting these things, but as a man, I want to be able to take care of my lady and be able to treat her. So I have to work on my business, make sure I'm being successful before I even jump into that. And another thing, so I don't want to date kids. I feel like their mindset is really it's really out of this world, especially with everything that I'm trying to do.
I wanted to touch on that because I feel like you're really, really difficult. Like, as my brother, I seen who you dated, and I seen your mindset on relationship. Like, I don't really understand. Like, you have a specific persona in your head, and you don't want anything outside of it. You're not even leaving space for a different little thing. You just want it to be the exact same way, the exact thing you want. That's what you want. Like, why are you so difficult?
Let me clear this up because I get that question every time. Why do I feel like everybody got to be perfect? I do not expect that. That's the biggest misconception when somebody talks to me. I do not expect that. What I do expect is, if I have a woman, for me, you have to be trying to work on your relationship, right?
Okay.
You can make mistakes, but how do you handle those mistakes? Because I will make mistakes. I'm not perfect, but I'm always like, and I always tell people why I'm ready to be in a relationship, because like I'm always ready to learn. Because any women, you have to learn though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
if I make a mistake and she don't like it, I have to be able to learn like, well, she don't like that, and I have to do that for her. Especially if it's nothing big and nothing that I can just move on from. I'm not gonna argue about it. You get what I will not argue, but I feel like there's always should be compromise in all of these different aspects. I do not expect nobody to be perfect. I don't have a specific person in my head. What I do have is, if you make mistakes, how do you handle those mistakes?
Okay, so just to bring it down, like really simple, what does guy look for when they're searching for a woman or a partner? Like for you, what is 3 things that they must have? Like 3 things that's just not in the table, you have to have it.
I need a woman that has standards.
Okay.
I need a woman that has standards. I need a woman that is very highly motivated, very goal-oriented, very just, I know where I want to go. Standards, motivated and goal-oriented. Communication.
So they have to know how to communicate.
They have to know how to communicate. And that's why I went to the whole, if you have mistakes, how do you handle those mistakes?
Yeah, because that's really important too.
Yeah, communication, having standards, and be motivated and goal-oriented. Don't ever be content. I cannot be with a woman that's content, because I'm not content.
Okay, so I really wanted your perspective on that question I'm going to ask you. I wanted to know, like, what is a deal breaker for a guy? I know for a girl it's mostly cheating. I think that's the most deal breaker for girls. So for a guy, what do you think a deal breaker is in a relationship?
I mean, I don't even think people should say cheating, because honestly, like, if you cheat,
No, but some people move from it. They don't really. It's not really a deal breaker for them.
Here's my thing with the cheat. A lot of women that I talk to said, I always tell them this. Here's my thing with the cheating. I feel like if I get to a position where I cheat, I do not respect you.
Are you really that straight with it?
I'm very.
Because there's many things that can lead to cheating. And you can really love that woman, but it's your mindset. It's not really on you if you go cheat. It's really your mindset and really your belief. If you believe in just one woman.
And this is what I'm saying. There's ways, to me, that I feel like relationship is so much. It has to be bigger than me and you.
Yeah.
It has to be bigger than just myself. Because this is a relationship we're talking about, right? So that's why in the beginning, I always take my time. Like, people will go crazy if I tell them, like, I'm waiting for marriage. Like, I don't feel like I need to be out here.
Yeah, because it's really not coming.
It's not coming at all for a guy. So with that being said, is what I'm saying is, in all the beginning process, imagine we building something solid. There's respect in it. There's communication in it. There's you like being goal oriented. There's you like just a lot of like everything is gonna be perfect, right? Even though it's not perfect, but it's gonna be perfect. Because even when you mess up, it's just like, okay,
you know how to fix it.
Let's talk about it. We got this. But if I get to a position where I can cheat on you, I genuinely don't feel like I can respect you. Even though it could be a mistake, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people say it could be a mistake, but as a man, you should know yourself.
Yeah.
Just like a lot of people say, well, I go to the club and I got drunk. I was in my
yeah. Some people really blaming when they drunk. That's why I'm saying it's not really that straightforward.
And what I'm gonna say is that with that being said, I know I'm hard on myself. I'm very hard on myself because every day I strive to be perfect, right? So if I know if I get drunk, I might see a woman and things might go crazy. Why get drunk in the first place?
Yeah.
Why not have your limit?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So that's why I feel like if it ever comes down to a point where I can disrespect a woman like that and cheat on my wife,
yeah,
and risk everything that I have going back home, it's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like I have kids, I have my wife, and I don't feel like I should put neither of them in that position.
That's really a well thoughtful perspective of it. So for you, what would be a deal breaker in a marriage? Like something that's so bad, the cheating is just out of the question for you. Something that's so bad that puts you in a place where you have to divorce or you have to quit on somebody.
A woman switching up.
What you mean by switching up?
A lot of people do that nowadays, and I always tell people I'm not a relationship coach, guys. I'm just speaking on my experiences and other people's experiences. What I mean by that is just when people start talking, they having conversation, they dating. There's a persona that's being put out, and I don't feel like that's okay.
Yeah.
This persona that's being put out is not okay because later on, as things go on, you can't keep up with it.
Yeah.
Because it is not in your nature.
Yeah. So basically, is you dating somebody, they making you think that there's someone, and once you get married, you're seeing a whole different person that you're like, who is this? Yeah.
And I feel like that's the worst thing you could do.
And I feel like it's really common in marriages.
It's very common because people lie. Even on the men perspective, like I said, I don't want to date nobody because I'm not in a position where I can take care of my women. But I'm not gonna go all out and like break my pockets just to make sure I impress them.
Yeah.
You know straight up, like what position you at right now? If we're talking like, well, I got my business I'm trying to get going, like I'm working. Yeah. I'm establishing myself. So don't I tell people all the time, do not put out that persona. Be real with yourself. Yeah. Be real with them. Because that would save you a lot. And that's why you see a lot of people relationship fizzle out. Yeah. Because they switch up.
Definitely. That's really what's making a lot of marriages, that's breaking a lot of marriages because people don't really let people know who they are. And you have to find out after, and then you can't handle that because you didn't know about it. Probably if you did before, probably you will know about it. But before you didn't know, because you didn't know, you can't really tell how to deal with that after. You also said earlier that people will be shocked if you said you will wait until marriage. So what made you decided to wait?
Because I feel like once you step that line, like the relationship will never be the same.
But I don't understand.
And I say it will never be the same because I feel like that's the most precious thing, right? That's ice cream on the cake, that's icing on the cake, whatever you want to call it. That's the most precious thing. So I feel like if you can step over that boundary, even though some people might be like, well, for some people it work, okay, but do you understand? You would never know how hard they have to work to make it, right? Yeah. It don't become that much easier anymore. It becomes very, very, very hard. So I feel like that part of it is the icing on the cake, and once you can step over that line, a lot of other lines gonna be crossed. A lot of other things are gonna happen, even though you might not know what exactly these people have going on, even though it might work. But just think about the amount of work that has to be put in. Let me say this though, and a lot of women always say, well, he changed, like he's not the same person no more. It's just a lot of it have the same common denominator. It's just like, okay, well, he got something. Yeah. He got that, so he don't have to try. That's all right. He don't have to communicate too much. He don't have to allow you to have standards or have goals. It's just like, well, you do what you do and I do what I do. It's like, well, this is a partnership. We both trying to go somewhere. We have to go together. But I already got what I wanted, so
so you don't owe them nothing.
Yeah, even if it fizzles out, people are like, we fell out of love. It's just like, not really. It's just y'all just did it the wrong way. Yeah, you know what I mean. So if you would have waited and built that foundation, you would have had a much different outcome. Yeah, and that's why I always,
I'm always for that because I feel like not many people just feel like they have to have that. They have to see all it is, or they have to know what it is about before even marrying somebody. So,
and that is very small-minded to me. It's just like if that's gonna determine everything, then that just shows like communication standards and all of that meant nothing.
Yeah, and I feel like if that's what's gonna let you know if you should marry a girl, if you should marry a guy, you really are married for the wrong reason, because what if something happened?
Right. Yeah.
What if something happened? You never know what's gonna happen. It will be on your part. It might be on the girl's part, but you know.
But then you get older too. It's not the same, right?
Exactly.
So what happened when you get to that point when you get older?
Exactly. So it should just be one of, you know, like an accessories on the marriage. That's something that you should. That's just, you know, one of the gifts of marriage, but it shouldn't be the whole marriage in itself. I really see your point of views and respect it, and it's really it was really a good talk. I know we have a lot of more questions to discuss and a subject to touch, like your view on basically, you know, being your own entrepreneur and, you know, making your own business. I know you've been working a lot for other companies, but you left it and you're doing your own thing right now, just your whole point of view about it. But I guess we should just do a part 2 where you can let people know how to start their own business and really the mindset that you have to have in order to start doing your own thing. So we're gonna go ahead and close this. I know if you guys have a lot of questions for him, you can always put it in the comment and we'll discuss it in the part 2 of this video. And yeah, so thank you for coming. Thank you for talking to us and being open. I really appreciate that. And yeah, his information will be down below for those of you who wanna fix your credit and also start your making money, because you do that as well, right?
Right.
So you can always DM him or contact him and he will be able to help you with that. Well, thank you for watching Things We Don't Talk About, and see you guys for the next show on next Sunday. All right, bye.